Hi, welcome to day 21. We're at that turning point. Halfway line has been passed. Mazel tov, if you're still with me. Um, if you see this picture, it says, "Dear world, I am not your prisoner. I am here with purpose." And all that we have done till now, this understanding of who we are, understanding of who we are not, understanding who we want to identify with, who we really are, then it's all coming to bring us to the purpose, because that is all the underlying clarity. And now we want to get to Hamtaka, which was really the ultimate goal, this unity. We discussed it a little bit for a second last time, yesterday, but now we want to see, okay, what is this Hamtaka? What is this unity? And it's on page 125 in the book, The Way Toward Inner Unity with All Creations. And this is our purpose here in this world, to unify with ourselves, with God, ourselves. What really, ourselves with ourselves is ourselves with God, ourselves with others, and ourselves with all of creation. So this unity is called Hamtaka, as we said. It's all about unifying and merging. Firstly, he said, Rav Schwartz says here, with all of the Jewish people, then with all of the people in the world, and after that with all of creation. The power of unity, this power exists only in our soul. It can only exist when we see ourselves as a soul, in which the body is our garment. True unity cannot come through the body. It can only come through the spiritual power of the neshama. Therefore, it is clear that we first have to know who we identify with, begin to realize what our actions, feelings, and thoughts are, and which are connecting us and which are disconnecting us from who we really are. The root of goodness is giving, the root of evil is taking. When speaking before of Hachna and Havdalah, we explained that the goodness comes from the soul, evil comes from the body. The person's avoda is to subjugate and separate the evil within, be it in action, speech, or thought. There is an inner root for good and another root for evil. Goodness, tov, relates to connection, as it says, it is not good, it is not in Bereshis, it says, it is not good for man to be alone. It is not tov. We can infer from this that if being alone is not good, then unity with others is good. What unites and what separates? In the writings of Rav Dessler Zatzal, we learn that one's avoda, one's work in this world, depends on the strength of her connection to giving as opposed to taking. Taking makes her separate. We cannot call taking inherently evil, because if one takes honestly and is not stealing or cheating, it is not an evil act in itself, but it is related to evil. Giving is related to goodness and unity. Let's just pause there, because we could listen to that and become maniac chesed people that are giving, but our whole inner world collapses because we are not giving inward to ourselves. So sometimes there is giving to ourselves, and maybe a whole day of giving to oneself is what one needs in order to become able to give to others. And that's okay, because that's still giving. So when he's speaking here about taking makes one separate from others, he's not talking about taking from meaning in order to give to oneself. That's not what he's talking about. And that's really important concept to internalize, so that we don't become people who feel guilty all the time to that because we're not doing chesed. Like sometimes I have people calling me, can you make a meal? Can you make a meal? But right then, no, I can't make a meal, because if I make a meal for 100 people, forget about me having, or even for 5 people or 4 people outside of my family, I won't have attention for my family. I won't be present for my family. I won't be calm within myself. So each person has to know themselves and their capabilities. And that's not being selfish. It's not being taking. It's being giving to who you really are. And that's also Hamtaka. That's also unity within self. So we're going to pause there and continue again tomorrow. I think that's a really important concept to just sit with. Because if you're anything like me, you will go into that judging mode once you hear that and say, oh my gosh, I have to do more chesed. I have to do more good. I can't believe it. I've taken too much time for myself. So let's just take the time to realize step 1, Hamtaka with self, unity with self. And then tomorrow we'll continue on from there. Amir Hashem. Thank you so much for listening.